Welcome back to Disturbing the Priest. I'm your host, Brandon Battick. We are back with another panel here where we're going to share our favorite opening tracks in thrash metal. I am really excited. We have a fucking badass panel here. In order of appearance, we have Tommy Stewart of Black Doomba Records, Direwolf, and the very legendary Hallows Eve. We have Carcass John here of the Metal Roundtable. We have comedian Mike Gray. We have Roger Chouinard of All Sinners, Purchase Street Records. And of course, we have Pete Angelo, comedian Pete Angelo here in the house. How is everyone doing?
Awesome.
We're good.
Great, dude.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Fantastic.
doing great.
A lot of great thrash.
Cheers.
I'm excited to see everyone's picks. Hopefully no one steals mine. I have like a list of 20 just in case someone does. But
Wait, we have to audible if someone else says it.
no, you don't have to. But as the host, I want to, not just be like, fight fire with fire. Like just like, I don't know.
God, I didn't think of that one. That should be. Oh my God,
I kept thinking of other ones. Like I picked a bunch, and I was like, oh, but, and I kept arguing with myself.
There's a lot. It was a hard list. I thought it would be a lot easier, but I actually struggled with it a little bit. And I think we should get started here. Tommy Stewart, if you want to kick us off with your favorite opening tracks in thrash metal.
All right, favorite opening tracks. Man, I completely remember the first time I heard, but I won't go into that one since I didn't think of it right off. When you asked me to be on this, you hardly said the sentence of, say, your top 5 favorite opening, and immediately in my head I heard the voice go, Voivod! Voivod from War and Pain. That was the first thing that popped in my head. It was always like the greatest. It's a great career opener. So it's on their first album from 1984 on Metal Blade. And so we were writing in my band, we were writing our first album when that album came out, and I was listening to that album a lot. So you can imagine some of the influence might have been in there. But Voivod was War and Pain was so good. That's one of my favorite albums. But the song Voivod, and yeah, if you ever go to see him live, I've seen him live a couple of times. He'll make mention, that you get the idea they're about to start in that song, and everybody yells with him. It's awesome.
Their best album,
Voivod. And the next thing that popped in my mind was Exciter by Judas Priest on Unleashed in the East. And to this day, that's one of my favorite songs. That's my favorite performance of it. In fact, I listened to that so much, it was years later before I ever actually listened to the studio version of it and focused on it and went, oh, is that what the song really sounds like? 'Cause I think of it as the live version. But Exciter Unleashed in the East was 1979. Columbia Records. And, at least as far as I know. That's such an excellent song. It's one of my favorite songs to have in my phone and riding my bicycle first thing in the morning. I take off down my driveway. I live in a hilly area, and it starts with the oh God, it's so good. So the next one probably a lot of people would do. I mean, we talked about favorite, maybe not necessarily the best, but for me the best. So I absolutely love Oblivion by Mastodon, which kicks off Crack the Sky. And I'm not sure anybody would think of that. And it's not kicking ass so much, but it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the album. It was a bit of a different album for them.
I'm also glad you said Mastodon.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if we could because I had one that will we classify it as thrash? But as long as other people are deviating
I don't know, because
a little bit,
if you go back to, I was just going by metal exactly, but if you went by a lot of their other material, there's a lot of thrash stuff, but that album to me was where they flipped sort of from it was a more focused album. I think most people would say Blood, what is it? Blood and Thunder?
Yeah.
Blood and Thunder, I want to say. I think most people would probably say that if they were talking about Mastodon.
Yeah.
But I went on to Oblivion, which is not really thrash so much. Brand Daler, the drummer, said that he listened to King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King literally daily the entire time they were writing the album on purpose.
That's crazy.
So you know that's in there. I know it's not exactly thrash, but
no,
I thought it was an important song. The album was important to me because I think they flipped from being sometimes thrashy to being a different kind of band right there.
They're so I feel like they have they touch on so many genres. I'm glad you picked it because it reassures me in one of my picks.
Yeah, some of it's like because thrash was changing, people were expanding.
Yeah,
and there was some gatekeeping about it, like what are they doing and whatever.
As
but
always,
they're growing. Something's not gonna stay the same. We're not gonna do Baroque music still today, all the way from the time of Bach, and that's the big thing that fills stadiums. I mean, people still like things, but they change.
Yeah,
an alter. I can go down that road a lot.
It's thrash is very like a loose term, sort of. Like I know people who argue certain bands are speed metal or thrash, so it really just varies. Like,
I know.
I think that it just varies. If I think the vocals are high, that it's probably speed metal, and if the vocals are more grovelly, it's probably thrash. But it's pretty much the same thing.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's interesting to think.
I mean, because I think Agent Steel's thrash, but everyone says no, they're speed metal. Well, okay, but they have breakdowns and they have circle pit little sections of their music, but just because the guy caught his toe in the door and he squeals so high, I mean, this it's not thrash, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
There's so much British thrash with like clean vocals too, like really just like where it's like not really like Zentrix, for example, is one of them. But I've noticed that in like UK thrash, weirdly enough. But anyway,
I always thought speed and thrash metal were like twin brothers with different haircuts.
Or maybe the same haircut, just no facial hair.
Right.
One has a beard, one doesn't.
Yeah.
We have it was so you might have a band that's called a thrash band that it has more mid-tempo songs than they do speed metal songs. And in my old band's case, we never thought of ourselves as speed metal. We just thought we were playing aggressive heavy metal. And we weren't even sure we were thrash, but other people called us that. So I guess we are. I don't know. Whatever you think we are, that's what we are.
Well, Death and
As long
Insanity.
as you buy the record, right?
Yeah, just buy just give us some gas money so we can keep going. So I think a lot of bands are like that. So this one, this is kind of older. Oblivion, let's see. So Crack the Sky came out, in 2009? Yep. I can almost tell you the month, honestly, because Mastodon's from my town, and we kind of know what they're doing, because to us, they're like local guys made big kind of thing. So I remember it being around spring. I remember spring, because we were around talking about it then. So this one, again, this is the thrash speed metal, or is it just really fast rock and roll debate. I'm going to put Motorhead Ace of Spades on there as an album opener.
Nice.
Again, I'm kind of thinking more just metal, and it's not thrash for sure, but I mean, that's the whole oompa 1 2 1 2. That's like the drum beat for 50% of all thrash songs.
I mean, that's just one of the best. That's like one of the best openers. Period.
Yeah, and it didn't hit me till yesterday, and I went, "What am I thinking?" Yeah, I had other things. But I said, no. This really was something that hit me back when it came out. If I ever wanted to get up or have a better day or have a better moment, all I had to do was put that on, and I was like, yeah, screw the boss, whatever. All of a sudden, I was full of spit and vinegar just from 3 minutes of that. So
well, it's like Lars's whole goal with Metallica was to like bring Motorhead to the States. So I feel like that alone says something.
Totally. That's a good way of saying it right there.
Yeah. Great band.
And there were so many album openers I could bring up, but if I want to stay, oh Lord, if I want to stay closer to thrash, I just can't get around. I'm going to have to say one of the classics to get in, because most of the stuff I'm bringing up isn't necessarily, it's just metal, and you can discuss whether some of it's got thrash elements. This is thrash. I got to bring in one classic. I'm going to say Angel of Death by Slayer, just because I'm supporting. I love that album. I love that song, and
that's got to be on everybody's list.
It is. I
That was
know.
the first thing that popped into my mind.
There were about 5. I was like, can I even say these? I'm so, God, I know that song so well.
I deviated a little.
It's definitive. Well, I deviated. Okay, I'm balancing it out because I said Oblivion by Mastodon. So this is like sort of like putting it on the other part of the scale to take it back. I mean, it is definitive of the genre. It is you've got Tom Araya's big scream there. It just goes. It's got one of the best leads ever in thrash metal or metal period. And the lyrics, the whole thing still stands up right now, just like when it came out. It's definitive. So I had to take one of the classics and throw it in there. I would have, if I had thought of it, I would have said Fight Fire with Fire. But now that you're saying, somebody said something about it, I'm like going, that really would have been my number one. But it's got a little more melody for me.
Tommy,
I remember I distinguished. I won't go into. I don't want to ruin somebody's thing. So, I remember the jaw dropping moment. I put that in my. I had a cassette player. That's right. And I remember putting it in there, and I remember I had to stop the car. I was, but kind of the same. Angel of Death. I remember where I heard that the first time too, and I wasn't in a car. Thank God. So, or somebody.
Tommy, in the direction you were going, I was thinking you would say like Children of the Grave or something, because you were going like way back with some of these.
Oh, I know. Well, actually, I had one that's a great album opener, but it's not. I had another one I was thinking of, but it just came out. But lately, what really runs through my head a lot, and I'm just going to leave. This is like the bonus track for my 5. Okay, so I'm going to say Moonchild Ritual by Black Moon Cult. Definitely not thrash, but it's a heavy psych band or whatever. And for the past few months, that's sort of been, I can't quit listening to it, especially the first like 2 to 3 minutes of the intro into it. And so that's going to be my little bonus outside the box one.
Hell yeah.
So I colored outside the box there. Black Moon Cult, Moonchild Ritual.
So
excellent song. Do you know anything about the Moonchild Ritual? What they're writing about? That's it's a concept from it's now the Sarah Crowley occult writing thing. It's about like giving birth to a magical entity through rituals and whatever. It's interesting. So
seems fitting like for the genre, for if it's like psych,
totally.
A lot of that stuff is perfect lyrically. So going forward, I mixed up some of the order here. I forgot Carcass John does have something, I think, a little later that he might have to go to
6:40 your time.
So
yeah, or 7:40 your time.
Okay, so we're doing good on time. So we'll do Mike Gray, Carcass John, Roger, and Pete. So Mike, if you want to jump into your 5.
Hell yeah. So the 5 that I initially wrote they're not very ironic. You know what I mean? Because it's like I have Angel of Death on there, obviously.
It's not ironic. Thank God you were being fucking ironic.
Right. Well,
exactly.
I'm trying to be ironic, but no, I do love that song. But in terms of influence on me, I'd have to say Battery by Metallica is one of the best opening tracks, and it's also one of the first that I learned to play on guitar.
That's one
So
of my
I mean,
picks.
it's so good. I mean, it starts with that, like, kind of Spanish sounding guitar that they like to do a little bit, and then it just starts hammering. It's just got one of the best riffs of that generation, at least. You know what I mean? The verse riff is so iconic. Sepultura, Arise, I think is a banger. I think that's a really good intro to the album because it starts with this weird like sound, just this weird, and then it just comes right into the song, and it's so fast. And as soon as I heard it, I had to learn how to play it. It was incredible.
Honestly, one of the best like album openings ever. Arise.
Dude,
like,
so
just
good.
Killer.
It's so good. And those guys, I mean, they started going groove metal, but those first out Beneath the Remains, iconic thrash to me.
If you have a chance to check the Cavalera brothers doing the full Schizophrenia, Arise, Beneath the Remains sets, you gotta go see it because
my God.
Don't remind me I'm out of town when it's coming.
it's better than it might be better than the original. I don't want to be too controversial, but we saw them at Hell's Heroes, and they absolutely laid waste. It was really awesome.
I'm so sad I'm not going. Like, I genuinely like this. Like, that's one of like the first times I've been like, do I cancel an entire like 2 days of gigs to stay and go see it? Oh,
They'll
be back. Don't worry.
That sounds incredible. I would love to see a show like that, just doing old shit. And those guys rule. Like those guys are awesome.
The best.
Oh yeah. All right. So, Testament, Low.
Ooh.
I think Low is a real good one. It's a little bit more mid-tempo thrash, but it's just got a great riff to it, and it's fucking awesome. And anytime you start the album with the title track, it's gonna be great. Nevermore, Enemies of Reality.
Ooh.
I love that. I mean, when I was a teenager, that came out, and I heard Voyager, and I was fucking blown away. And I was just getting into playing guitar and stuff, and Nevermore instantly became one of my favorite bands. And that track is so good. I like it sometimes when it comes in kind of, this is almost like spooky, you know what I mean? It doesn't just start right off the bat. It kind of builds you up a little bit. And then this drum fill comes in, and then the riff starts, and it's just a banger. The solo is incredible. That whole album is probably one of my favorites of all time.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I saw an article and Nevermore was featured in it, and they called them power metal. And I guess in a sense, I can see it because of Warrell Dane's vocals, but it's certainly a lot darker than power metal.
I think of power metal. I think of Blind Guardian and Camelot and
Manowar.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, me too.
That is not even in the same zip code. I'm sorry.
So this one is not really, I guess you could call it thrash. Symbolic by Death. I mean, there's definitely elements of thrash in Death. I mean, a lot of their songs are really fast, but this is a little bit more mid-tempo. I kind of threw it in. I don't know if you guys will count it, and that's one of my favorite albums by them, certainly.
Can we
Symbolic,
say no?
What?
It's like, what if we say no? Can we all vote? Say no. You got to pick a new one.
Yeah, you have to get a new song. Sorry,
Shit.
Mike.
Thumbs up. Thumbs
That's
up.
all right. I have quite a
Democracy
few of them.
chooses.
Did I bring up? Did I say Havoc already? I don't think I did.
No.
I Am the State from Unnatural Selection. Really dig that song, and the verse riff is just like just kind of old school thrash, Motorhead-esque, and the rest of it's just fucking brilliant thrash.
Good shit. All right. Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Carcass John
Well,
of the Metal Roundtable.
yeah, Mike and I are in the same zip code. I had Testament Over the Wall from the Legacy as a backup, just in case. And then I had Havoc Prepare for the Attack off of Time Is Up. If you haven't heard that, you should check it out. But here's my top 5. Well, Havoc Prepare for the Attack was my number 5. But my number 1 was Violence Eternal Nightmare. It has kind of a crescendo. It builds up to it and builds a kind of a frenzy, and then it just rips into that. I remember when I saw them, I had a friend of mine out in Cali that played in a band called Attacks, kind of an Orange County thrash band, and he used to tech for Phil Demmel, and he said we need to go up there and check them out. And I just remember the whole crowd. It looked like the permapress cycle in your washing machine when they started to play. It was crazy. My number 2, it's too bad Mem's not here. I had Exhumer Possessed by Fire.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Such
really,
a good one.
Razor, the martial arts from Violent Restitution. One of my top thrash picks of all times. If you don't have it, you need to go grab it right away. And then my number 4 was Merciless Death from Evil in the Night. That was Slaughter Lord. And I booked them a couple of tours here in Texas, and they just never disappointed. They were just a 3-piece, but they really knew how to thrash it up. And once again, and then Havoc was my number 5, but I have a whole pile of. Well, I mean, we could get into like Sodom, Code Red, off of Code Red, Sacred Reich, Death Squad from Ignorance.
Yes.
That's another one that sort of builds and builds and builds and then just lops your dome off. But anyway, and then if you wanted to go super old school, I had Creator, Enemy of God, and Creator from the opening tracks for Pleasure to Kill. They have like some instrumental thing, kind of like Battery does, and then called Choir of the Damned, and then it goes into Ripping Corpse.
Awesome.
Pretty serviceable mayhemic thrash to open your record. But anyway, I could go on, but I'm bowing to other.
I saw Violence do Eternal Nightmare like in its entirety live, and it was like fucking an unreal experience.
It's mayhem, dude. And I don't know that they get enough credit because of they put out that real clunker after Rob Flynn left, and Nothing to Gain, and I was like, yeah, you're right. There's nothing to gain from listening to this record. but Oppressing the Masses was a killer follow up to Eternal Nightmare, and then they put out that weird Torture Tactics EP, the stuff that got rejected by was it MCA or Mechanic? Yeah, Mechanic Records was a subsidiary of MCA, and they just went, no, we can't sing a song about a paraplegic. So they bagged on the song. In fact, I think they recalled 25,000 already pressed records, because I've got a shirt somewhere in the vault that says 25,000 records returned or something like that. But anyway,
Oh my God.
yeah, Violence. Love them.
Insane. Great shit. Their newest EP is pretty good too.
Yeah, it's really good. And I don't know who's still in the band except for Sean, because I think Phil is now doing the Kerry King thing, and I'm sure that's a bigger paycheck than Violence, but
It's just Sean. Yeah.
it's just Sean. So Perry Strickland's not in the band anymore playing drum. No, they got the Nick Sousa, I think.
Yeah.
Steve Sousa's cousin or son or.
Phil's doing Kerry King stuff, but Phil was on the last EP, and it was fucking killer.
No, yeah, and it was great. I liked it.
And they said it was an EP because they're like, we're not good enough to put out a full length. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
No, they're
really good. Yeah.
I saw them on the last real Power Trip tour before Riley Gales met his untimely demise, and it was Violence, Razor, then Carcass and Power Trip, like bang, bang, bang.
Damn.
And I'm like, heads were rolling down the interstate. It was awesome.
That's a fucking lineup. Goddamn. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Roger, what do you got?
Hi, guys. Well, being in the Northeast, I had to pick Wargasm. Why play around?
Oh,
I
that's a great one, dude.
Well, the thing is, like, I play drums, and I come from a small town. As you guys, I'm sure everybody, first bands you've ever seen, like first band I ever saw, that style was Wargasm in a small club, and they were signed to Profile. They were playing with bands like Biohazard and everything like that, and it was just, the first song on that record is Wasteland, and to me, I don't know if you know this, but their drummer, when Lombardo first left, they asked him to play drums for Slayer. Contacted him to come try out. He didn't go. But that was just a big thing for me, those guys. My second one is Nuclear Assault, Handle with Care. The new song, they played up here all the time because they were Jersey guys. And it just comes out just shredding. And that band should be known more, I feel, Third, I want to go with Death Angel, Act 3.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so underrated.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those guys, if they did not get in that van accident on that new Titans tour, or Titans on the Block tour, do you guys think they would have been obviously a different stature, like an Anthrax stature or a Slayer stature? Like they lost so much momentum when they were in that accident.
Totally. I 100% think that.
They still pound, like his vocals. They sound a lot like Slayer. They have that, reminiscent of each other.
I think he has another level though, like to Tom. I think he has like a little more depth to him.
I think he's a smoother vocalist than Tom. Tom is real gravelly and grady, but man, yeah, Death Angel. I think that they made a pretty serviceable comeback, and I saw them with Anthrax, and I thought they smoked them. Of course, I don't think Anthrax has been Anthrax since Among the Living, but that's my opinion.
I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
My fourth pick was taken, so that's my audible. But it was Sepultura Rise. I saw those guys in 1990, and I wanted to go home because I was so scared. I've never been to something like that. It was Sepultura, Napalm Death, Sick of It All, and Sacred Reich. That was the new Titans.
Oh my God!
Holy.
And my friend goes, "I want to bring you into Boston. You need to come see this." I'm the nerdy. I'm still a nerd, but the nerdiest kid in school. Everybody made fun of me, and I saw like long-haired dudes, skinhead dudes, just pounding each other. I looked at them, I'm like, I want to go home. I was like, I never want to leave my room ever again. But that show,
an introduction,
like, changed my life. Propane, Foul Taste of Freedom. That's is it a thrash record, or is it a hardcore record, or metal record?
There's so much crossover between hardcore and thrash. It's really, I feel like it counts.
And my last one, Testament, Practice What You Preach. That with me playing drums and that ride cymbal comes in, and Chuck Billy just goes preach, and it's just like it's like, come on, you don't. It's like the breakdown in Dead Embryonic Cells, that China. Like it's just that's what makes that music is just different, super simple accents on instruments, and just a fast ride cymbal with Slayer and Sepultura, and I don't know. Those are my picks.
Great shit, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, Pete.
All right. Okay. So I know we must say like Angel of Death. And now I agree. And I was like, do I want this one? But I audibled on myself. And I went with South of Heaven. I like I like that slow, spooky atmosphere to it. And just like, ooh, something creepy is happening. And it just like I love that build. It just sounds like haunting. And sometimes like, especially because you know what's coming later. Like I think that adds a lot to when things kick off. As much as I love Angel of Death.
Great stage setter for the rest of the record. That's like such a haunting
Oh yeah.
song
Yeah.
to start a record off.
I also picked Battery, so I'm gonna substitute. And I'm gonna say Testament's Brotherhood of the Snake. Because I think that song rips, and I just still think Testament rip, even like
You caught flack for this before, so you might want to watch it.
Yeah.
Look, I still stand by it. The last 20 years of Testament is better than the last 20 years of the other of the big four. But I don't know. Like
it's hard to argue.
I was going to say nobody's arguing with you,
yeah.
Pete.
Yeah,
you'd be amazed.
Well, check my Instagram because people. I turned it. Pete was on my podcast, and we turned it into a clip, and the comments were just fucking like people were throwing
people were saying I
knives.
was a crackhead.
Yeah.
All right, so another one, since we're all hyping Sepultura, I went with Refuse Resist. I adore Chaos ID. I love that it kind of has that crazy like intro drum beat, like you're about to march into war. And I think it's one of my favorite albums. It's my favorite Sepultura album. And that intro just you're like, oh, some shit's gonna happen. And it just gets me fired up every freaking time.
Great shit.
Again, real sad. I'm not seeing that. Next, I went with a song. I went with Warbringer's "Living Weapon" off of Worlds Torn Asunder. Because "Living Weapon" was also the first Warbringer song I heard, and I was like, again, like for me, like a thrash song that makes you want to either is like spooky or makes me want to just ride into battle. Like, especially for an intro, and that song just that again, like that build up, and I love a good build up, especially for an intro song, and then it goes so hard, and I just like instantly, I didn't know that my friend gave me like a burned copy of the album on CD. He was like, listen to this. I was like, all right, fuck it, put that in my car, and I was just like hooked. Just I'm driving 80 in a 30, and I didn't realize it just because I'm amped up on the song so fucking hard.
Good shit.
Was that 4? God, I have so many other ones that I'm like, dude, who do I want? Because like, obviously I had Holy Wars, but that seems like too obvious.
I was fucking waiting for someone to say that.
Yeah.
No one has mentioned Megadeth. It's the album's 35th anniversary today. I'm like, oh, there's no way. It's first on my list. I was like, am I seriously gonna fucking say Holy Wars? But I appreciate it.
Well, then
I had it too, but I was like, someone's gonna.
I should have saved it. I should have gone with more like obscure, but like, yeah. I mean, I've been joking. I've been trying to do a bit in my act about how it's always like an argument of can you separate the art from the artist, and it's like the better your art, the more likely I'll forgive you. And I'm like, Dave Mustaine could like insult my grandma to my face, and I'd be like, Grandma, Rust in Peace is pretty fucking awesome. So maybe you're being.
That is true.
But like, I was also like, do I want to put an Exodus one on? Do I want to put on like newer bands like Extinction AD? All great, but I was like, fucking Rust in Peace. Yeah, I gotta say it. Again, I went second to last. I thought someone would have said it by now, but apparently a lot of us had the same thought.
Well, good shit.
Does anybody have Exodus on their list? Brandon, do you have Exodus on your list?
I haven't. I assume that'd be the first fucking one said.
Well,
Exodus.
you assume it'd be Bonded for Blood, right?
No, mine's not. I had
Okay.
Scar Spangled Banner, Tempo of the
See,
Damned.
Yeah,
Temple of
that's
the
a
Day is
good
my
one.
favorite Exodus album, but that is not even my. It's not like close to my favorite song on the album, so I didn't want to pick it. I was actually leaning towards uh, the Ballad of Leonard and Charles, and Rays,
Nice.
just because they were off a shovel-headed kill machine, just because they were the opener. But then I was like, they don't go quite as hard.
Well, good shit. Exodus is legend. We have to have talked about Exodus at least once in this discussion. So I'm
Well,
glad
now
it
we
was
did.
Yeah, we did.
the box has been checked off.
Unless you're gonna preach to us about Bonded by Blood.
Yes, but all right. So I'm actually shocked that I only had to remove like 3 off my list. I do want to
3 of 5. That's kind of a lot. That's more than half.
Well, I have
mean?
like 20 written down here. I'm not going to read them all, but I was like, I'm like, people are definitely going to say a lot of this shit. Also, want to shout out Plunging to Megadeth, one of the fucking like most
Oh man,
openers,
thanks.
of course. Have to talk about it. That record, when that comes on, the adrenaline spike is there. So, all right, Holy Wars was said, obviously, which at the last second, but Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker's great. Underrated Megadeth track, I think. Really, really good stuff from the 2000s, I believe. It was like 2008, I think, or early 2010s.
Yeah, 2007.
What is the first track off of Endgame? Because that whole record just shreds.
There's Endgame has like an intro.
Chaos.
Yeah, it's like a 30-second intro track. But
well, I sort of didn't include those. I like blended those into the like as one track, because like when you go to see them live, they play I think if it's longer than 30 to 45 seconds, that it's too long. But some of these bands go 2 and 3 minutes. But anyway,
that's why I didn't have
fair.
Municipal Waste, because they have a bunch of like quick little intro ones. Like the Art of Partying would have probably been my number one if Pregame wasn't the technical intro song.
And they're a great band too, man. When are they going to put out something new, by the way? Speaking of thrash.
Right. Their last thing was excellent. Everything they've put out, the EPs, it's all been great.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, man. You're the host.
No worries.
We should interrupt you.
It's all
I'm
good.
gonna interrupt the fuck out of him.
It's thrash. I feel like it's very fitting, but no place for disgrace. All right, Flotsam and Jetsam. Listen, I love Hammerhead, but that intro, the guitar tone, just going into that super shreddy riff is just excellent. Stage Dive, Whiplash, Power and Pain. I almost broke my fingers trying to learn that song. Just so excellent. Without Honor, Mekong Delta, the more refined Fight Fire with Fire, in my opinion. Deny the Cross, Overkill.
Yes,
Overkill wasn't mentioned yet.
I'm glad you did, because there were just too many tracks to choose from, so I thought somebody surely will say Overkill. Thank you.
Deny the Cross is like such a banger. Like that every time they play that live, like the pit goes into like another level.
And to Pete's opinion that the last 20 years of Testament is better than most of the last 20 years of the Big Four. Why doesn't anybody talk about Overkill's greatness in the last 20 years too? Especially ever since Horoscope, they really haven't done anything bad.
No.
Anyway.
What was their last album, The Surgeon?
I actually used the drum tech for Overkill, and they're some of the nicest dudes.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun. I'm sure you guys have met them and stuff, but they're the best. They're super nice,
and they're killer live. I've never seen them perform badly. Anyway,
I've seen them about like every year, just killer. Like Bobby sounds awesome. Like it's just so good. The set list, it's one of those bands, and it's rare in thrash metal nowadays where it's like play the new shit because it's so good, but Overkill's great. Complete mosh pit porn, in my opinion. Killing Machine, Living Death, excellent stuff. Heart Attack, Toxic, such a banger. Chalice of Blood, Forbidden, and 44 caliber Brain Surgery
by Demolition Hammer. I had
Good
Forbidden
stuff.
Chalice of Blood on there. Thank you.
Yes.
On my list.
Got to
All
shout
right,
out
who's making-
Forbidden. But that's about it. I feel like pretty solid list. There were 2 from Metallica, right? That we talked about.
Yes.
Battery and Fight Fire with Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none. I think the one no one
Nothing off
mentioned
of
was
Lulu though.
right.
Nothing.
Not Frantic. Off.
Saint Anger.
But no one mentioned Anthrax, right?
No, I mean we mentioned Anthrax.
I believe
but
so.
nothing-
I think in a
anything good
disparaging
about
way,
it.
however.
The name has been vocally said. But,
Did anybody
yeah.
have Dark Angel? Dark Angel, Darkness Descends on their
No.
list?
Yeah. I had that one as a backup. Yeah.
Okay, good. How about anything from Annihilator?
I feel like
Crickets.
we're playing bingo.
You know, they did something recently. Annihilator did. He's got like a young 4-piece band now, and he sings. Jeff Waters, that is, Armed to the Teeth off of Ballistic Sadistic. You should check it out. It's a ripper, and the whole album shreds. It's like he just decided no more click tracks, no more fake drums, and I'm gonna sing and shred and put out a good thrash record.
Well, I'll check that out for sure, man.
Yeah.
But I feel like we had some great picks. This was such a fucking awesome panel. It was awesome talking thrash with all you guys. Thank you, Pete, Roger, John, Mike, and Tommy. You can check them out. I'll have the links to their social media in the description of the podcast. I'm Brandon Battick, and this has been Disturbing the Priest.
It's death! I've just seen death!